Hello. So today I wanted to make a video about fragrances that are all kind of in this cosmetic category. Fragrances that smell like powder or lipstick, because I have been wearing a lot of fragrances in this category lately. I've been trying to go through my hundreds of samples that I have recently, and I've really been gravitating towards these kind of powdery cosmetic scents as we kind of transition from winter to spring, although it's still pretty wintry where I am here. So yeah, just perfumes that smell waxy, powdery, irisy. Iris is definitely one of maybe my favorite perfume note of all time. I really gravitate towards it. I have a lot of iris perfumes in my collection. So yeah, I picked out 5 different scents today that I'm going to be talking about, and let's just get into it. So the first one I want to talk about is Valentina Poudre by Valentino. So I actually haven't smelled the original Valentina, but I really enjoy Valentina Poudre. I have this little decant that was sent to me by a Tumblr user that I am mutuals with. A couple years ago now, actually. Their name is Frederic, and they actually haven't been back online in a couple years at this point, which kind of sucks because I really liked their blog. So if you're out there, you should come back online. But anyways, so they sent me this, and I've just kind of been slowly making my way through it for like a couple of years, trying to savor it, trying not to use it too fast. Valentina Poudre is super powdery, but it's also really sweet. Like, there's a ton of vanilla in it, there's a ton of tonka in it, and it definitely has that like waxy lipstick sensation. It's like a little bit chewy Play-Doh-y also, from that like iris heliotrope combination, especially in the beginning when you like the first 15 20 minutes of this perfume. It also smells like, in the beginning, a little bit plasticky, a little bit artificial, even a little bit bubblegummy, maybe because there's tuberose in here. When it dries down a little bit more, like after 15-20 minutes, it starts turning into something more buttery and vanillic and more like girlish. This is a very like vanilla dust perfume, I would say. There's also like, sometimes this happens for me with fragrances that have a certain like vanilla and sandalwood combo, is that it starts to come across kind of coconutty to me, but not coconutty in like a suntan lotion way that like I know a lot of like solar type perfumes have a coconut smell that's kind of sunscreeny. This is not like that. It's more like dense, like coconut milk, like that really like the fatness of the coconut is really kind of what I smell in this perfume. It's super cozy too, like it's warm, it's really like adorable and frou-frou and girly. I really like this one, and it just makes me think of like doilies and bows. Whoops. It makes me think of doilies and bows and like this like pink cream color. So the bottle design, I actually feel like that kind of like fleshy, dusty, muted pink color that they used for the bottle in like that matte bottle design is really accurate to what this smells like for me. So they did a really great job designing that bottle. Yeah, it's so good. I kind of want to get a full bottle of this, but again, I have like way too many cosmetic iris perfumes already, so I don't know, we'll see. So the next one I want to talk about is, I think this one's pretty well known. This one is called Lipstick Rose, and it's from Frederic Malle. The perfumer is Ralph Schweiger, I think. And yeah, it definitely fulfills the promise of its name. It's like a waxy, lipsticky iris, and also like a very sweet and tender pink rose. It's really fruity too. Like, there's a ton of raspberry in this for me, and a lot of violet as well, like that kind of like cool candied sugary violet that comes through and kind of adds to that raspberry fruitiness and makes it even fruitier. This is like, for me, like this is like a super hyper feminine perfume. There's a ton of vanilla in it also, although I don't think it's as vanilla forward as Valentino Poudre. This one is more like fruit forward. And I'm also getting a lot of like clean white musks and like laundry musks, which are like super plush and comforting in this. Yeah, as it's drying down, I was wearing this the other day, and like after it dries down for a little bit too, that rose really comes forward and really pushes itself to the front. It's like definitely more of a like what I would describe as like a jammy pink rose over like a dewy green rose or like a dusty mauve rose. Like this is very like super pink, super feminine, super beautiful. When I'm thinking of it, I'm thinking of like pink silk and like purple velvet and like magenta like taffeta. Yeah, I don't know who wouldn't like this. I feel like it's pretty like crowd pleasing. The only thing is that I just wish it lasted a little bit longer on me. I don't know if it's just like my skin chemistry or whatever, but this just does not last that long on me, which is unfortunate because, you know, if you're buying a full bottle of this, this is a pretty expensive perfume. But yeah, love this one. Fruity, violety, lipsticky, raspberry, rose. Yeah, it's really, really good. The next one I want to talk about is called Sticky Cake, and it's by Comme des Garcons. This one, when you think of the word sticky and the word cake, you're expecting like dulce de leche or like, you know, something syrupy, something really gourmand. This is definitely not that, like, at all. I feel like the name is pretty misleading, but I still really love it, honestly. It's not sticky. It's actually really dry. Like, it's very, to me, I get like sharp, white, soapy, baby powdery, like very puffy iris. It's literally like making me think of like a pile of baby powder. Or if I had to relate it to like the cake metaphor, like when you are sifting flour through a sieve when you're about to bake and like the flour is like puffing up into the air from the bag, like that's the image that's being evoked in my mind for this. Now, over time, the sweetness does come through in the form of like this bittersweet almond heliotrope combination. Mostly almond. Like this does get pretty nutty, I will say, after like 20 or 30 minutes. But still, it never gets sticky for me. Like it's always just really powdery, clean, super dry, like starchy. If I had to describe this perfume in one word, I would say starchy for sure. It kind of like goes back and forth between being makeup powder and baby powder. When I'm smelling this, I'm thinking of like clean cut, like hardworking woman, but she's also feminine. And she's wearing this in the daytime. She's a brunette. And she's like fresh from her like shower getting ready phase. Maybe she like puts baby powder under her armpits instead of using deodorant. And she's like going to work. She's like a little bit buttoned up, like trench coat buttoned to the top. But underneath she might be wearing like white bikini cotton underwear, but there's like a little lace trim on the edge of the underwear. Like she has a juvenile spirit underneath it all somewhere. And it does get a little sexy. Like maybe after work she goes home and she takes off her clothes and puts on like a thin white cashmere sweater and like her nipples are showing through or something. That's what I think of when I smell this. Yeah, but it overall it still stays like very clean and dry, not sticky at all. It's very like, it's more upright than that. With this Comme des Garçons Sweet series, I've always wanted to own one of the original bottles, like not when they brought it back for the olfactive library and the white bottles. I really wanted to own one of those like fun, funky glass original bottles. Sticky Cake would be a good one. I also do have a full bottle of Nomad tea, but in the white olfactive library bottle. I would love to own the original bottle one day, just as a side note. All right, the next one we're going to talk about, I'm actually wearing it right now, and this one is from Juliette Has a Gun. I think this is their like private collection, or like their more expensive collection. I forget what it's called. And this one is called Liquid Illusion. To me, this one is more like whimsical and playful than the other ones I've talked about so far. It's similar to Valentina Poudre. It has that like chewy, doughy orris iris heliotrope combination, and in this there's also a ton of like really nutty sweet almond, which even sometimes goes a little bit cherryish when you're smelling this as well, which I like. Yeah, it has that like Play-Doh sensation, and in a way that actually reminds me a little bit of Lipstick On by Margiela, or like the Iris Heliotrope Vanilla combo in Gucci Art de Parfum. It starts out way sweeter, in my opinion, and then it dries down to be a little more subdued and cool toned and more powdery after a while. Like the beginning is actually pretty bubblegummy. I get a lot of violet and tuberose in this one as well. I think this one might be a little bit more difficult for some people. The sweet plasticness of that almond heliotrope combo can sometimes veer into this like synthetic bittersweet territory, but then it kind of like goes back around to being more like hyper feminine sweet, and then eventually it like settles into a more like suede-y, cool toned like powdery iris. The only thing is it really does not last on my skin at all. I don't know what other people's experiences are, but I would buy a full bottle of this, or you know, maybe not retail price, maybe secondhand, but I would want to buy a full bottle of this if it lasted longer on my skin. Like it just does not, it just doesn't last. I don't know why. It lasts maybe like an hour, and then I can like barely smell it after that. But yeah, this one's more like a little more vibrant and like hot pink in the beginning, and then it kind of goes a little more, it flows into this kind of more elegant and grown up powdery scent. Okay, the last one I'm going to talk about is Dama Koupa from Baruti. I love this perfume. It is so interesting to me. I think maybe out of all the perfumes I've talked about today, this one is, it's less sweet for sure, and it's way less like traditionally fluffy, cosmetic, feminine. It's like more, it smells more like matte and way more waxy, but not in a lipstick way. It's waxy in like a true beeswax way. And I do think beeswax is one of the main notes in this. It's like beeswax, but not honey. Like when I think like honeycomb, I get this kind of like gooey drippiness. This is just like straight, like thick, dense beeswax. And this like wax plus like kind of unsweetened powder effect, it creates this like suede leather sensation. It's reminding me a little bit of Serge Lutens Dame Blonde, which I do have, and it's also reminding me of Masque Milano La Tessa, which I also really love. It's similar to La Tessa because they both have this kind of what comes across to me as like a sandalwood fan, like this very powdery, dry, very brittle wood. It's brittle, it's not creamy, it's really dry, but it's still really like delicate and light. It's not heavy. So yeah, you're getting this like clean aspect from this like puffy, powdery iris. And then the beeswax and the wood is making it a little bit dirtier and closer to nature. And over time, as you wear this also, that beeswax smells sweeter and becomes more musky, more animalic, and more like lived in. Almost kind of like, almost a little bit spitty as well, which sounds kind of gross, but you know when you like sneeze and you're wearing a COVID mask and then you like smell the like sweetness of your spit, like that is kind of what this smells like to me, but in a good way. I think people have said that about Baccarat Rouge as well, that it smells like a sneeze. I don't know if I agree with that, but this to me sometimes smells a little bit like a sneeze in a good way. Compared to like Lipstick Rose or Valentino Poudre, this is not really sweet at all, but if you're smelling it on its own, there is sweetness there that comes across over time. And it's just like really addicting to smell. Like, especially how it starts out way more like severe and uptight and like matte, leathery, powdery, like clean. And then it transforms into this more like dusty, waxy, slept in of the earth feeling. Yeah, I love Baruti fragrances, at least all the ones I've tried. I feel like they're really like botanical, which I really enjoy. This one also comes across botanical. Like this one is not as cosmetic as any of the other powder fragrances I've talked about today. Let me know what your favorite cosmetic scents are. I have quite a lot, I think, already. One that I really like to wear is Atelier Cologne Silver Iris, Chanel number 19 Poudre, Dame Blonde by Serge Lutens, which I mentioned before. Also, Givenchy Linge Noir, which I mentioned in my last video. I also have, there's a couple more I have too. Bulgari Splendida Iris d'Or, I have that one as well. So yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite categories of fragrance to wear. I mean, there's a ton more out there that I know I want to try that I just haven't gotten around to trying also. Etat Livre d'Orange, Putain de Palace, I really want to wear that one. Sorry for my bad French. I took Spanish in high school because I grew up in Texas. And I also want to try Jimmy Choo Iris Crush because people say that one smells a lot like Margiela lipstick on. Another one is Givenchy Dahlia Noir. I want to try that one because I saw another YouTuber, the Fragrantician, she mentioned it. The main reason I want to try it is because she said that when she smells it, she thinks Lauren Bacall would wear it, so that interests me. Couple more that I wanted to try. Oh, Histoires de Parfums, the Moulin Rouge one. I think it's like 1899 or 1889 Moulin Rouge. And also Lorenzo Villoresi Teint de Neige. I really want to try that one too. So yeah, let me know if you like these kind of cosmetic, powdery, lipsticky styles of fragrance and what your favorites are and if there's any that you think I should try. Thank you for watching.